here's my point. I think Swiper, hopefully you'll agree with this. I don't like reverse engineering greatness to fit a narrative. Okay, let me give you an example. This Caitlin Clark Angel Reese thing, right? Obviously, the minute these two flared up with that, put a ring on it, that moment catapulted women's basketball into viral sensation, right? Everyone was talking about it. A lot of people who never watch women's basketball, suddenly they go in and they anoint Caitlin Clark this great player because they have to validate all the attention she's getting. I want to let you know, in that moment, Angel Reese was already a big deal. She already had 2 million followers. So if Angel Reese is a nobody, Caitlin Clark getting this shit happen to her by nobody doesn't do anything. But what happens when a million people?
Player in her own right, though.
She was not the best player in her own class. Paige Beckers was a better player in college. I'm not talking about Angel Reese. I'm talking about Caitlin.
Yeah,
Caitlin
coming into college, all 5 of them. There's Paige. It was Angel. It was Camilla. It was Cameron Brink, and then it was Caitlin. If I didn't say Caitlin, there's 5 of them. They were all the top. They were the top 5 players coming into the class. By the time
Paige was decidedly the number one player.
But the issue is that what happened, and Ox speaks to the. I'm not trying to say Penn doesn't watch them. I'm saying that I know Ox also watches NCAA women's. I watch a lot of NCAA women's. The first 2 years, Penn, tell me I'm wrong, Caitlin was cooking. But what happened was when she got to her junior year and she started having more national games, that's when the conversation flipped about Caitlin being who she was. And then you had the Angel Reese moment, all this stuff, and Angel was great in her own right, and then it exploded and became this dialogue about racism and Angel and Caitlin are the enemies.
Even outside of that, though, regardless of the coverage she was getting, whether they were over covering her or not, Caitlin Clark
was crazy.
She had a case to be the best women's basketball player ever. I'm not saying she is because I don't even want to get into that. She has a case as the best women's basketball player.
I don't know if you noticed, but she's the
all-time leading scorer.
Yes,
as a basketball player. We're almost done. But no, again, I want to be clear about this.
Candace Parker.
I want to be clear about this for the audience.
That's why I didn't say she's the best.
Right.
I said she has a case.
I want to be clear for the audience. Most of us up here believe Cheryl Miller, Diana Taurasi, Maya Moore, Candace Parker, Elena Deladon, Brianna Stewart. We think those are the cream de la cream of NCAA women's. But Caitlin, what she was doing, how she was getting her points, the playmaking, we had never seen her play anyone play that way. Never. And Paige, remember, Paige was the best player, Ron, for the first 2 years until she got hurt.
And she's sophomore year,
right now. No, I don't even want to say that. Sophomore year, Caitlin Clark had a better sophomore year than Paige.
No, she was cooking. I'm saying she was cooking. She was cooking.
Paige went to UConn. Chill, you muted. Paige just went to UConn. You guys do know if Caitlin Clark would have went to South Carolina and won a national title, we will be talking completely different.
But Penn, what it sounds, Penn, it sounds, Penn, like Caitlin Clark was manufactured.
She was manufactured.
No, she wasn't.
Yes, she was. Yes, she was, bro. Yes, she was. Y'all talking about her? She came in and saved the WNBA. No, she did not.
Number one,
how she best player. Wait, chill. Hold on, chill. Wait a minute. Did Magic Johnson and Larry Bird revolutionize what the NBA was? 100%. Yes, Caitlin Clark. Even though she's not the best player in the world, even though she wasn't clearly the best player in NCAA when she was playing because up and down with other people, she was still the face of the sport. She's one of the most recognizable basketball players in the world. What do you mean why? Because of the way she plays, dog, she's cold.
No. Hold on. Why? Y'all want to? This is what I talk about, the reverse engineering bullshit, bro. There's the reason for everything. It's reverse engineering bullshit. It is reverse engineering bullshit because let's be real. Y'all want to categorize three-point shooting and deep three-point shooting as the greatest thing ever, but you don't want to talk about rebounds.
We do that every day when we talk about the NBA. In fact,
that's not all she does, though, Penn.
So crazy.
Paige Beckers is a better basketball player, but she's not a mega star now, is she?
They're not the same player.
She's not a mega star.
They're not the same player, dog. That's what NBA was. Ja Morant gets more views than Jokic does. What does that mean?
real quick though, it's not Caitlin's fault that Paige got hurt, man. Like that's not Caitlin's fault.
Understand what
you know what I'm saying?
As
That's what I'm saying. It's not Caitlin's fault that Paige got hurt, bro.
As a rookie, Paige is starting in the All-Star game. What? I don't understand the point that you're making.
Which I said she would going into the year, by the way.
Paige is
and Angel
getting the
Reese, a two-time
recognition she
All-Star. But y'all
deserves.
not talking about her like that, though, right?
Paige
Records is her.
They don't just hand those.
What does
things
that
out.
mean?
What I'm trying to tell you is, when you got a favorite, you prop up that favorite, right?
100%.
And you look up for reasons to prop up that favorite.
This man, you don't prop up Scotty Barnes in conversation you don't belong in.
Keep going.
Because you like him.
I like Scotty Barnes. I don't ever deny
because you
that.
like him, but that's what people do when they like people. People like Caitlyn. Kids love watching Caitlyn play. That's why she's hyped. People love watching her.
And swipe it to your point.
Bro.
If you like somebody, that's great. But when you put them in conversations, you have to substantiate that. Substantiate that with Caitlin Clark. First and foremost, when she came into the league, she was the best player in the Big Ten, which is a big-time league in college basketball. It's number
Big
one.
Ten.
Bro.
She was the best player in the nation.
Right.
The variables of Caitlin Clark's ascent have nothing to do with basketball. Okay, it has very, very much to do with the manufacturing of value. Let me put it on this. We typically can value basketball from a lot of different perspectives. Hold on, we can value winning. Hold on, chill. You big accolades guy. You big. Please. Yeah. I don't remember Allen Iverson being considered better than Magic Johnson because he was scoring more points.
College basketball.
Do you know the hype that Allen Iverson got when he came into the NBA? On top of that, Allen Iverson didn't break the NCAA scoring record for men and women. He didn't set assist records while doing that. He didn't score the most points ever in NCAA tournament history. Caitlin Clark did things like that. He didn't take the Georgetown Bulldogs to back-to-back national title games. Oh, and by the way, the Georgetown Bulldogs were the Georgetown Hoyas. They were. That was a prominent college. She took Iowa to the national championship twice.
That's what you're
Come
making.
on,
I mean, Kate Morgan was on the team.
What was LSU hoops on the women's side?
No, nobody's disrespecting them. Kate Martin too. Yeah, Kate Martin.
It's still Iowa though.
No, I say Kate.
What I'm saying is when it comes down.
Can I just jump in real quick because I just want to just say I think there's a lot of validity to everything y'all are saying. Like I would say I agree to a certain extent with what Penn is saying as far as Caitlin Clark got hyped up. I think Caitlin Clark got hyped up a lot, but I think she deserves a lot of the hype though. Like hey, chill. She's worth the price of admission. 100%. She's worth the price of admission. She's an exciting basketball player. Right. I do think the media took an opportunity to hype it up because it was selling selling tickets, and they wanted to bring the WNBA into a bigger spotlight. I think there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's just the way sports are. We want to ride the entertainment wave, and that's cool. I also do acknowledge that Paige Beckers was the one coming in, and there was a big draft class, including Haley Van Lith. There was a lot of them.
Haley was in that class.
It just so happened that Paige got hurt, so somebody had to step in there, and Caitlin Clark did that, yo. So all I'm saying, Penn, is that I see where you're coming from, but I don't think it's fair to hate Caitlin because people love her. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, was Maya Moore being gassed because she got a Jumpman shoe? She was the first woman ever with a signature shoe from Jordan. Was she being gassed because of that?
I think Maya Moore. I think a lot of see what Maya Moore got was that UConn stimulus package, but Maya Moore was a dog.
She was the best player in the world.
She deserved all of it. So you know what I'm saying? I think there's validity to everything y'all are saying, bro. I don't think it's so much, oh, you're wrong, you're right, you're wrong. You know, I think there's a lot of validity.
I don't like the fact that like people you can't just say she's all hyped though. That's just not true.
Yeah. My last statement.
That's not what he's saying.
My very last point is that Caitlin Clark is not the best thing we've ever seen. Like I think, and that was my whole point last year. A lot of people was upset with me. A lot of people was upset with me last year saying I was trying to gatekeep the WNBA because I kept saying that this ain't nothing new. Like Cheryl Swoops exists. You know what I'm saying? Cheryl Swoops was a baller. You know what I mean? I just think there was a lot of less coverage before, and I think now people are trying to act like this is some new thing, like women just learn how to play basketball. This has been going on for decades. 100%. Cynthia Cooper exists. You know what I'm saying? Tamika Holschlaw exists.
Sorry,
you know
you ain't doing this to me. I'm sorry. You're not doing this to me. Not you. I'm saying that like anybody that's trying to tell me, and it's not even exclusively Penn. that the reason why I'm talking about me, or even a couple people up here like Caitlin Clark because she's overhyped. I've been watching women's hoops since the 90s. I know who the GOATs are. I know, but I'm saying Caitlin deserved her flowers for what she brought to the NCAA, and she deserves her proud what she brought to the WNBA. The fact is, the WNBA is more profitable because of Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese and others. That's a fact.
Bro.
There's nothing wrong with that. But there's nothing wrong with that.
If
that's
Angel
the way the
Reese
sport goes.
Is a nobody doing this shit, that doesn't blow up.
Okay,
if Angel
Reese, she's not a nobody though. That's the point. She's Angel Reese.
And I think
they're two entities. Go ahead, Chill.
Where the divide is you telling us about engineering basically great players and manufacturing great players, which is true sometimes. They do that all the time in entertainment. When you try to turn somebody into something that they're not, come to find out they're not this. You are on the right track, Ben. You're just using the wrong person because Caitlin Clark is 100% worth the price of admission. The hype that comes behind her, she is worth all of that. She is awesome as a one-on-one player. She can shoot the long ball. Not only
she can drive. She can pass.
Is she better than Paige Beckers? Chill.
But it's not about better. That the basketball has never been about that. And you know how I know that? Because the most marketable players in the league today are high flyers. Anthony Edwards more marketable than Jokic. John Morant's more marketable than Jokic. 100%. There's a bunch of players more marketable than the 7-foot Serbian who doesn't do any of that stuff. Yet most of us think he's the best player in the world. But we also understand he's not going to be on the front of 2K. He's not going to be in all the commercials. He's not going to get all the ads. He's not going to get all the views on social media because of the play style. That's just the way it works. Paige is a dog. And last point, Chill. I said she's going to be a 25-5 player this year. And people looked at me and said I was dumb because Paige is like that. But she's not going to get the love that Caitlin is because she don't play the same.
Why not?
Go ahead, Chill.
Her game's not exciting? She don't shoot the.
It's not Caitlin. I'm sorry, it's not Caitlin.
Okay, because she's not taking logo threes. What made logo threes more interesting than a crossover?
Number one, Penn. Paige coming in. Paige coming in.
Brainwashed, man.
No, we're not brainwashed.
You're telling people who
I think it's because Caitlin came first.
Women's basketball that we're brainwashed. Like you understand how you sound.
She's got the stigma of being injured. She tore up her knee, so she wasn't around nearly as much as Caitlin Clark was, who was consistently in the spotlight. And when she was in the spotlight, she was constantly doing something that we hadn't seen before. Not in a long time. I'm not going to say I hadn't seen before, but hadn't done in a long time. And while she was doing this, guess what was going on, Penn? Eyes were on the TV. And the WNBA, which has not made a dime since its inception, we need somebody like this who won Middle America, Indiana. Little girls, I look like that. So I might be able to do that. So I'm going to watch this more. And again, Caitlin Clark is not just some basketball player. She was awesome. So they weren't pushing their chips to the front of the table just for some player who can play a little bit. No, she was worth the price of admission. So when she comes in and she shows that when she's in the WNBA, that enhances the sport. Now, to Penn's point, to Swiper's point, I mean, how much bigger of a deal would SGA be if he played in New York? How much bigger of a deal would he be?
He'd be a much bigger deal.
How much bigger of a deal if he played in Miami, right? So
yeah,
and he's not necessarily.
But why though, Cho? Why?
But he's not the face of the. He's not the best player in the league. But because the market that he plays in.
Melo was a bigger deal when he played for New York than when he played in Denver. Unfortunately,
right. He was not better
Melo,
than James.
But Melo was transcendent regardless anyway, because Melo came through the roots. He went through high school at Oak Hill, went through Syracuse, and then he was the number 3 overall pick. And him and LeBron were the story. It was the same thing with Magic and Bird. It was the same thing. They were the story coming into the draft. So he always had press behind him. People loved Melo.
Was he not a bigger deal in New York? Was he not covered more? Was he not more national news?
Yes, he was.
Yes, of course. And was okay. So my point is, when you play on a winning team, when you play in a bigger market, when you play at a quote unquote exciting style of basketball, it's going to elevate you a little bit, and you're going to get a lot of press, and you're going to get a lot of national TV games, and you're going to get a lot of magazine covers. And in order to justify that, additional spotlight, we are going to reverse engineer the greatness argument. Okay, so for instance, I'll give you an example. If I want to tear down Allen Iverson, I'm gonna point to field goal percentage. Sure. I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna bring in analytics and be like, oh, well, you don't do this and you don't do that. But if I want to big him up, I'm gonna talk about toughness. I'm gonna talk about grit. I'm gonna talk about a guy who puts it on the line. I'm gonna talk about a guy who shows up in those big moments. So you see what I mean? You can tear a dude down on one side, you can bring him up on the other side. y'all want to some people want to tear down Angel Reese and they talk about the missed free throws and this and stuff. What about the rebounds? What about the defense? What about the leadership?
She's gonna be an all-pro.
Those are mostly casual fans, right?
She's gonna be an all-pro.
My point is, if you want to make a case,
that's how
that
narratives
all
are
of,
spinning.
if I want to make a real case that Angel Reese is the reason for all of this explosive growth, trust me, I could write a book about it.
But it's both of them, though.
But that's not the book. That's not the book that we're writing up here, though, right?
Who's up here? Who's up here? Who's up here?
Angel Reese was an all-star last year. She almost got Rookie of the Year. She got her own shoe. She was one of the first athletes signed to Reebok. She has been a part of she's been a part of the rebrand of the WNBA.
But she's a big
deal.
She's been a big deal. And she was a big deal before Caitlin Clark.
She was a big deal when she won a deal. She was a big deal when she won a national championship.
So don't watch her and are spinning a narrative.
And by the way,
basketball.
And by the way,
not people up here.
100% Swiper. And by the way,
all this started with Kuzi and Bill Russell. That's all I'm gonna say. That's the same argument.
Bill Russell was a big deal.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
You get lost in this thing when you believe you're right, Penn. I'm telling you factually, the crap that happened to Bill Russell had nothing to do with Bob Cousy. Had everything to do with being raised in the 1950s, playing in Boston in the 60s.
Did I say
Boston
Bob Cousy did it?
Treated black people like garbage.
Did I say Bob Cousy
you're mad at Bob Cousy because of racism in America.
Oh,
okay, we get it. Let's move on. This is getting ridiculous. All right. God damn. Bob Cousy did not invent racism. You hate Bob Cousy because white people hated Bill Russell. So now you're okay. Fine, Ping. We know how your mind works. Let's move on. All right.
That's not what I said. I said I think that he is very much elevated.
Chill. That's exactly what's going on.
It's not.
That's what's happening. That's what happened.
I'm saying you're overhyping one guy to take credit away from the other guy.
Who's taking credit away from Bill Russell?
You're banking it on.
This is like Kobe haters. Haters who didn't like Kobe want to say Shaq carried.
Hold on, chill.
Do.
Anybody up here that has Bill Russell top 10, including myself, have we mentioned Bob Cousy in any way, shape, or form at all in his resume or legacy?
Oh my God!
So I just needed to know. I know for damn sure Mars doesn't. Kamar trolls Bill Russell all the time. Says he's best of all time. You might believe it. Chill got him top 10. Ox believes in him. I believe in him. I've never brought up Bob Cousy talking about Bill Russell. Ever.
But and on top of that, I know we got to
for drafting him.
And I know we got to move on, Ron, but it wasn't Bob Cousy. It wasn't Bob Cousy who the media just manufactured because of that. No, Bob Cousy was the one who was bigging up Bill Russell. Bob Cousy was the one who was telling the media that you need to talk about this guy more. The reason why we are as awesome as we are is because of this guy. The reason why we're doing what we're doing is because of this guy. Before we got him, we were a good team. Now that we got him, he's awesome. But it didn't resonate, not because of Bob Cousy. It didn't resonate because it was 1962, and I couldn't drink at a water fountain that the white person drank at. That's why.
Come on, we didn't have the Civil Rights Act passed in 64, and then you had the Voting Rights Act in 65. That was the era we were living in. The March on Washington was in 63. Like, what are we doing? Kennedy was assassinated in 62. What are we doing? Like, what are we talking about? Like, that was the world was different. Yes, they hated Bill Russell. He was respectfully to the platform. First time I'll ever say this on the platform, and last time he was a nigga in 1960.
That's it.
That's all it was. Move on. Move on, Ron. Golly.
That's what he was.
It's the player choice, right? That them boys don't get it started. The player choice.